What's up, y'all? Welcome to the FreeChinaPod. Ari's yacked right now.
I think the other reason is I just had like 9 pieces of high chocolate, high cocoa content chocolate, so I'm jacked up on caffeine right now.
Oh, I'm feeling crazy off that caffeine.
I'm also excited because I finished a pretty big project.
Big news
I
coming.
should have been studying.
Big news coming to the website soon, folks. Keep an eye out.
That new journalist, he might start this weekend.
Y'all need to make FCP your homepage too.
He or she, sorry, it. They. I prefer it.
I prefer Zay or Neo.
I don't like the L in Neo.
I want to watch that new Matrix movie.
I wouldn't mind it, but I'd prefer not to pay to go see it. But like in a movie theater, it could be cool, especially if it's in 4D or something.
I haven't seen a movie in the movie theater in a long time. I just want to watch
I-
it because I've heard people are very polarized. Some people are like, it's one of the worst movies.
Things.
Someone's like, it's the worst movie ever, and other people are like, it's like really good.
Really good.
I don't know. I didn't really like any of the Matrix movies besides the first one anyway.
The first one was great, but yeah, the second and third were like disappointing. It wasn't as revolutionary. It was just kind of like cultish almost.
The first Matrix is like the epitome of like a DVD movie, like the DVD revolution of just like.
What, watching it like a million times?
Just like, well, that, but also like the fact that it was just like it's that era. Like it was like future. It was like future shit and like computers and like, oh wow, like we're really moving into the future. And it's shot really cool too. There's a lot of badass scenes.
Though that didn't really throw me out. What I loved about The Matrix was the kind of reality questioning aspects of it. I'm not a big action movie fan.
I don't really like action movies.
It's not that I don't like them. It's just like that's not what gets me. It's the cerebral aspect of it. And that's what I really liked about it. I watched that movie like probably dozens of times without exaggeration as a teenager. I remember the first time I saw it when I was like probably 12 or 13, a few years after it came out. And holy mother, I just watched it over and over.
It's pretty good. I mean, I definitely watched it multiple times on the old PlayStation 2 DVD player. But yeah, I don't know. That and Holes. Holes is a big one for me.
No surprises there. It's a classic. I know you're a big Shia LaBeouf fan. That's why.
I do love Shia LaBeouf. One of the most underrated actors and directors of our time.
I have the book in Taiwan. I read it last year, I think.
I remember reading part of it at where were we? Was that like a coffee shop or a hostel in Taiwan? And I saw it. I started reading it.
Well, it's not my copy. By the way, is that my snorkel above your head?
Yeah, of course it is.
Where's yours?
Upstairs.
Okay, I was wondering why. Because
I put yours in here because it was you were drying it after we went to Charlie Ocho and
I found the bag in the alley today.
No, that I don't know. Oh, probably because
blown
I
off.
hung it up on the thing. It probably got blown off.
Okay. And the
Yeah.
construction workers are like, let's try this on.
They're just stamping on it. Well, this looks like one of those newfangled piss bags. I hear the Amazon.
I don't like that.
I hear the Amazon workers are loving these. Perfect size for your pocket. Oh man, what have we been seeing? I feel like I went over so much news yesterday. I recorded over an hour. I probably could have done 2 hours on the news I was doing for that Worker Wednesday thing I'm gonna start trying to do.
I have almost nothing about workers on here, so
That's fine. I did all the worker stuff yesterday.
it shouldn't be any overlap.
I know you hate workers, Ari.
I am a worker.
Ari is a PMC piece of shit.
As somebody who makes less than minimum wage in Taiwan, working, well, I wouldn't say I work full time, but I have a lot of part-time jobs I cobble together.
Yeah. The only one that really matters is this, though, which you get paid the least for.
I get paid nothing. It's a non-profit, folks. All the money goes right back into the company.
Yeah, you guys could make that a little bit better for us if you go over to the website and find some ads you like and click on them, and also
Purchase what you click on.
yeah, that doesn't hurt for sure. And you hit that Patreon too.
Yeah, Patreon is a lot more direct.
Yeah.
Or you could just buy our NFTs.
It's true. You just send us a big grip of cash, and we'll send you a bunch of JPEGs.
At the end of January, we'll have the whole NFT menu out there. You guys will be stoked.
There's some serious. This made me think of there's some beef going on right now with Badiota, that artist, and I don't know, online leftists, like not like Taiwanese like online leftists. I don't know. I
didn't know there were Taiwanese leftists. Period, because like left isn't really a thing in Taiwan.
Well, they would. I think they're more internationally facing, so they'd call themselves like more left, but they're
Marxists.
I don't know if I would. I would probably wouldn't say Marxists, but I would say like have some socialist tendencies.
Okay.
It's different things because I just use that as a broad umbrella term because there's like people who are like woke performative leftists, and then there are people who are like actually like workers, you know, gaining foothold.
I was reading a book recently about like Taiwanese politics. It's hilarious what they think of left and right. So most Taiwanese people, well, in Taiwanese, basically, like left is left, but right, there's no like word for it. It's not like yobian in Mandarin. It's like, I forget the Taiwanese for right and left, honestly. But anyway, the like word is like zhen, like correct. So the right is basically synonymous with correct. So people on the political blue and green all define themselves as being on the political right. So all Taiwanese people define themselves as rightists.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Which is also funny because they're like, at least coming from America, because they're all like farther, quote unquote, left, and like they're all in favor of like socialized medicine, and you know, so that's funny.
It's hilarious. They don't conceptually understand it at all. And if you ask them to define it, I would say probably far less than 10% could actually define what it means. Most of them define it as basically like correct or not correct.
When you say that's in Taiwanese?
In Taiwanese, that's like the literal definition.
Because in Mandarin, there are words.
Yeah, there's a left and right. Well, there are words for left and right, but like nobody knows. Because I was talking with Olivia the other day.
Mm.
And she got it completely backwards. Oh. She was like, "Oh, like the right is for like redistribution and helping poor people." I'm like, "Wait a second."
Yeah, with trickle down economics. That fucking.
She just got it totally backwards.
Yeah.
Because they don't use that term here, so I find that very interesting. There's also, because both of the parties define themselves as on the right while practicing essentially what would be internationally considered leftist politics in terms of redistribution and like nationalized healthcare, and trying to occasionally do like worker friendly policies like increasing the minimum wage, that there isn't really a left right political divide, so to speak, because both of them are opportunistically leftist when it so suits them, and opportunistically conservative when they don't have any electoral pressure, both of them.
Yeah. Sounds like a two-party system.
Ranked choice voting.
Choice voting.
It's important, no. Push for it. Call your representatives and politely ask them, demand that they push for ranked choice voting.
Or try and start a referendum in your state.
Just try to start a revolution. Peaceful, legal revolution, of course.
Okay, well, let me start with the first article I have, which is that Marjorie Taylor Greene, which is a really weird article, but essentially it sounds like she's basically calling for, I don't want to use the word civil war, but essentially a breakup of the United States, which on its basis is unilaterally, if states try to secede, unilateral secession is unconstitutional, which means by making such statements, she's actually in violation of her oath that she took when she became a member of Congress, which means she should probably be expelled from Congress or tried for sedition.
Yeah, to be fair to her, though, there are a lot of like gay Jewish space lasers coming for her, so she's got. No, yeah, she should probably be tried for. Well, she's not even. I mean, the thing is she is like the id of their party, just like Trump is. She's a little bit more off her rocker, which is strange to say in comparison to Trump, but. They just don't want to like censure her or anything. So like they don't care. I think that everyone kind of likes what she's saying for the most part. Like there's strange like slightly less fashy conservatives like Liz Cheney that might be like, this makes me sad.
that.
I don't like that. I like lying us into the Iraq War, but this is too far. So, yeah,
She said this.
she should certainly be investigated at the very least.
I think that state separatism. I mean, we already fought a civil war, and it's kind of like a tempestuous time. I'm not like super partisan, and I don't think.
Yeah.
I think that people generally have freedom of speech, but if she is basically advocating for violating the Constitution, that's a violation of her oath.
I was going to say, especially as a representative.
As a representative, she took an oath to defend the Constitution, so it's pretty reprehensible, and she should, at the very least, be expelled from Congress. At the very most, she should be tried for sedition.
Bye-bye, MTG.
What she said in here, and it's disgusting, but obviously it's not illegal, is that she said that red states should start, quote-unquote, cooling off period to ban Democrats from voting, or ban people who move from blue states to them for like 5 to 10 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We're also thinking about doing a poll tax on black people because they seem to vote more Democrat.
She's an interesting person.
She's also, I would say, not very intelligent.
Well, yeah, considering she's like going on Twitter, basically violating her sworn what would you call it? Sworn oath to defend the Constitution.
Yeah.
That's it's pretty dumb.
Yeah, well, we'll see if anything comes out of it with a thoroughly divided Congress and
Nothing's gonna come up.
Things like
We've got better things to focus on, like getting vaccinated, folks.
or yelling or screaming that we shouldn't be vaccinated and how like wearing a mask is taking away my freedom.
Well,
those are where the lines of demarcation are. But I'm somewhat thankful that it seems like a lot of people are extricating themselves from that debate and kind of just moving towards things that they can actually deal with on their own, like trying to form a union in their workplace.
I wish, honestly, this is my mom and my sister are now both positive for Omicron.
Yeah.
Because of the fucking failure of the United States government to institute the most basic policies to force people to quarantine.
Yeah.
And instead of doing that, they reduced the quarantine time to 5 days and basically admitted that the exclusive purpose of that was to help the airline industry. And now Jordan,
not just the airline industry, like just in general.
Well,
help.
No, they made that specific statement. There was an interview with Ari Shapiro on NPR recently I heard about, where the spokesperson for the CDC basically said, we need to do this because look what happened to the airline industry. That's like a direct quote.
Oh,
almost.
as if we didn't just bail them out like
well, now we're sacrificing 10% of our population.
A year ago, as if we didn't not only bail them out, but bail them out after they did huge stock buybacks.
It doesn't. I mean, it's so fucking ridiculous because as more people get Omicron and those staff can no longer work on those flights, they're canceling flights around the country right now. It's absolutely fucking. Half of their, not half, but a good proportion of their workforce is under the weather, so to speak. They've been infected recently. Like my mom was flying back recently while she's positive for COVID because they don't actually require testing or masks.
No.
Or sorry, they require masks, but only when they're watching because you can just take your masks off.
Right.
So
well, and the head of the airline companies were saying that, I forget which one, maybe Delta or Southwest, I forget exactly which one, but he was saying, oh, we need to stop having these mask mandates on planes. And
well, they don't enforce
and
them
he immediately got COVID right after that. They don't enforce them, but also the other thing is that
they're like,
they're
put
saying
your mask on.
They're saying
sir.
they're saying this as a way to protect these airline companies, but actually the airline workers, one, because of all this stuff with COVID, have been getting assaulted at way higher levels, and because they're not doing anything to protect people, like actually making people wear their masks and not testing people before they get on the plane. That's the reason why they're understaffed, is because one, people are scared, and two, there's too many people that are sick and they don't have trained replacements.
That was my point.
Yeah.
So my mom's flight got delayed like multiple times because they simply don't have enough people to staff the flights, which means they're canceling flights left, right, and center. So
and it's going to get worse as more people get sick,
and as new strains come out that are even less susceptible to these vaccines, which have not been sufficiently tested on the new strains to see whether
for sure, and
efficacious.
Not to mention if we get a new strain that's like way more deadly, that's as virulent as Omicron and is way more deadly, then we just don't have any workers at all, and America really becomes a failed state.
Well, man, I mean, if that happens, then America's gonna go from losing like less than 1 million people. We've lost less than 1 million people so far, right? Around 1 million people.
Well,
I would say.
I would say it's probably over, but the official numbers, I think last I checked, were like 800K, something like that.
It's gonna go from. I mean, depending on what the mortality rate, it's obviously gonna be exponentially higher, and it's going to.
We only have a little over 1,000 people dying every day. Already, no big deal. Just like we were at 3,000. We were over a 9/11 every day, and people really lose their minds about 9/11. But this is whatever. Just 3,000 people dying.
Go back to work, folks. Get your ineffective vaccines and go back to work.
I did a deeper dive on this, and everyone should go check out the FCP Worker Wednesday that I did. It's on the podcast feed and also on YouTube. But this is his quote. He says, "That's the reason." What's Fauci's voice?
That's the reason.
Yeah, he says, "I mean, obviously, if you have symptoms, you should be out of, which weird. Anyway, but be out of work is what he means. But if you're asymptomatic and you're infected, we want to get people back to jobs.
Are you
Particularly those with essential jobs to keep our society running smoothly." That's his quote. He wants sick people to go back to work so your grandma gets fucking killed. So my fucking nephew, who has problems with his health, so he can't get vaccinated, he's immunocompromised, so he dies. That's what Fauci is saying right now. The fucking king of science. This guy who claims that he really cares about the health and well-being of everyone is like, go get fucked so you can get ground into the fucking cogs of capitalism. You fucking pigs. I own you. That's what he's saying. Fuck that guy. I hope he I'm serious. I hope
kind of agree with you, man.
Fuck
Anthony
that guy.
Fauci is an absolute
He's a monster. He's a fucking monster. Like, I have been trying not to get that upset about. I just thought he's kind of a stupid idiot, but he's literally just giving away the fucking game. We're the rich elites. You're the fucking piss pigs. Go do work for us. If you die, we don't care.
It's not only about if you die. It's well, you're saying for the workers, but I'm saying
yeah.
Being asymptomatic does not mean that you cannot spread the virus. That's the main point of this. So saying
exactly,
that they should go to work,
what I'm saying, yeah.
while there's no mask mandates in place,
that's what I'm saying. They're going to spread. That's why your grandma and possibly my family members that I love that are being responsible, that did follow, like my parents got fucking boosted. My parents wear their fucking masks. They still might get sick because he's telling people who are sick to take off their fucking masks and go to work. Good job, man.
Because it's a matter of time until Anthony Fauci fucking dies of this. And like when Osama bin Laden died, I was like, I've never rejoiced over the end of a human life, because human life is valuable even if they're monstrous. But this guy is responsible for so many deaths and is so unrepentant in his disgusting behavior. It's like,
yeah,
the impulse to like rejoice at his death is like, oh.
I'm not as principled as you. I'll fucking. Okay. I'll be careful. Anyway, yeah, he's a fucking monster, and
he is a monster.
I hope people wake up to that. But I think everyone's entrenched in their little camps now. So
this reminds me of that stupid movie. What is it? Don't Look Up. And like the irony of all these Hollywood elites and all the people who just keep pumping out the same,
keep getting your Pfizer vaccines.
Yeah.
Like both of my family members who are now infected with Omicron my mom had 3 doses of that. Like,
yeah.
Give me a fucking break. We obviously need to do something more than push the Pfizer. More than vaccinations. But they're like, no, vaccines are enough. That's all we need.
You just put the shot in your arm and you're good. That's what they want. They want a magic bullet, but
obviously it's broken.
They're failing to learn that it's
the
not.
gun is jammed.
Yeah, well, it's the Bugs Bunny Elmer Fudd thing where Bugs Bunny spins the gun around and now the barrel's pointing at your face and you fucking launch your own head off. I have said this again and again, and obviously with the new variant, there's not enough data. But with the previous variants, getting vaxxed does prevent you from dying and being hospitalized, or at least getting severe illness.
We shouldn't say prevent. Reduces.
Did I say prevent?
Risk,
okay, yeah, I should say reduce. Reduce, yeah, is the correct word. Okay, so I think that if
for previous variants,
yeah, that's what I said.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just reiterating.
Yeah, so I think if that's what the reason you're getting vaccinated, I think that makes sense. But the fact that they sold this, and things change, but it seems like they don't update the data. Like the new data comes out saying like they were basically saying, oh, if you get vaxxed, like it's a vaccine. and you won't get it or probably even spread it. And now it's very clear that that's not true, and they're still
It's not
acting
even
like it
close
is.
to true.
They're still acting like this is the fucking case. It's just insane, man.
Like you said this morning that 1 in 50 people in New York, not 1 in 50 cases are Omicron, but 1 in 50 people in New York City have Omicron.
I think it's specifically Manhattan, but
and
it
Manhattan
will be
probably like 98% vaccinated. Consider the mandates.
It will be all of New York City soon, if not more than that. It'll be like a quarter of people or something. But yeah, it's just getting worse. And the other thing is that they're having people line up, and which they're probably, some of them probably aren't masked. They're probably not social distancing. They're to do these testing facilities, which there aren't even enough tests for.
Yeah, that's insane. That we're 2 years in, and like I told you earlier today, my sister had to wait she waited 6 days. She finally got her PCR results back 6 days later. Like,
jeez,
this is how bad it is.
Well, this is what I said yesterday, is that there is an easy way to do this. You do the Defense Production Act, which they talked about doing earlier to make masks and also to make vaccines. You do this.
Masks are ineffective.
They're
Jordan.
ineffective. I can switch and shit on someone else's. You switch to the Rogan voice, and he says, "Hey, comedian that I only have on now. One of my comedian friends. Hey, did you see the video?
Did you hear Ari Shafir? Did you hear?
Ari Shafir. Hey, did you see the video on YouTube? The YouTube doctor that puts on masks and blows vape smoke through it. Did you see that? He tells that fucking story on every podcast.
Yeah,
even though there's literally good long-term science studies that show obviously they work.
Well, it's obvious. Let me just explain why that video is complete fucking bullshit and why that guy should lose his medical license for repeating lies. Vape smoke is a very specific thing. It's about a vaporized particle at a certain size.
Right.
When you're talking about somebody who is coughing or sneezing, the particle size of those water droplets are going to be significantly bigger, which means it's not possible for them to pass through the mask. So comparing them is like comparing apples and cockroaches. They're not even fucking close.
Yeah.
He's
it's
just
insane.
a bad doctor spreading false fucking. It's like the epitome of fake news.
Yeah, it is.
And Joe Rogan loves spreading that shit, which is why I've lost my patience for him. That guy is a fucking moron.
Oh, he's dumb. I mean,
I used to think it was interesting to listen to him because he would like listen to the opinions of other people. And now the fact that every single podcast is just ranting about the same fucking things over and over, his uneducated dribble and falsehoods just drives me crazy.
Yeah, I won't listen to him unless he's usually if I listen to that podcast, which I don't do that often, I just turn it off if he starts talking about COVID.
Last time, the reason on our last part, I was talking about what's that fucking that crazy 17-year-old who killed a bunch of people. I stopped listening because of that, because I didn't realize he was a like pro-anarchy Somali fucking separatist who wants to bring us back to Mogadishu.
Rogan, the Somali pirate. Yeah, well, he's
Free guns for all children. The first one to kill doesn't get prosecuted.
Yeah. Once you turn 13, you get your free AR-15, and if you kill enough random strangers with that, then you get your Uzi. Yeah.
As long as you kill them all, they can't defend themselves and say they didn't fear you first. As long as you feared them more than they feared you, you can kill as many people as you want.
Just go to the skate park. They all have skateboards there. Getting ridiculous. Yeah, but anyway,
Go to the skate park.
He hit him with a skateboard. He had the right to murder him.
It's obscene, but that's kind of where we're at in the United States right now, and I'm glad I'm not in the United States right now.
I was like honestly considering coming back, and now I'm scared.
Fucking crazy,
shitless, man.
I can't believe you were thinking about that. You're a wild boy.
Going back to
Canada would be slightly better, but I don't
only
know.
slightly. Yeah, like a less risk of being shot for riding a skateboard down the street.
Well,
He was threatening me. He was riding right at me. I had to blast his head off.
at least there's certainly, I don't know. Yeah,
I was very scared.
it seems when it comes to this, people have pretty much dropped the whole mask thing. People were very serious
People
about the
have, like,
mask thing for a
dropped
while, but
the idea that COVID is like an actual threat to anyone else. It's
Well,
just like
yeah.
every man for himself, make as much money as you can until we all die. That's basically what it appears like.
yeah. And again, it's
So just admit it.
It's interesting to hear people talk about stuff.
Anthony Fauci hang yourself today. That's a satire, folks. Hang yourself by your words is what I meant to say.
Of course.
Literally.
But
By your
I mean, he
words.
already has. To be fair, he's already done that.
Yeah, and he's still collecting a government salary of like $950 million.
I think he's one
a year,
of. I
probably.
think he's one of the highest paid.
Oh, because he's science, Jordan.
Yeah, you have to do so much research to take all that fucking money.
Well, if you spend your entire career siphoning off U.S. grant money to euthanize beagles for fun and then send it to the Chinese government to do
Gain of function research.
testing in an Wuhan laboratory, why wouldn't you get a golden parachute to keep milking the government for decades to come?
Oh, love it. That's a real welfare queen right there for you folks. That is
Speaking of welfare queens, Greg Abbott is also a welfare queen. I wrote an article, folks. It'll come out next October.
There's 3. You have 3 articles that just went up.
Yeah. The Greg Abbott one won't come up until a week before his next birthday.
Oh hell yeah.
I'm gonna write one about Regina Ip too.
Oh,
I'm mispronouncing that. Ip.
ape.
She's a monster.
Yeah,
And so is
she is.
Junius Ho.
Oh, Junius Ho's a fucking
I'm
scumbag.
gonna write articles about all these pieces of trash.
We should also we should talk about that a little bit. That you saw the Stand News got shut down.
Oh yeah, today.
It got shut down.
I follow their
yesterday.
Instagram. I didn't
Got shut
know it
down
was
yesterday.
Stand.
Yeah, 6 people got arrested, including Denise Ho, the pop star.
Oh well, I'm not a big pop star fan.
I'm not
It's
either,
it's
but
not like dissing her. I'm just saying I don't know who she is.
yeah. Well, no. I also I didn't know who she was until like I started following like the stuff going on in Hong Kong. But yeah, even back in 2019, she was like a pretty forward-facing advocate for Hong Kong. She gave up like basically all of her livelihood as a pop singer to push for like anti-extradition treaty and then subsequently against the national security law. So yeah, like I was saying, she's a pretty commendable woman that she would like basically give up lots and lots of money as a pop star to basically be a
I mean, people do
defender
that
of.
all the time. What's interesting
But
is
that's-
that normally pop stars don't do that because they're only interested in money.
Yeah, I mean people do that, but it's usually like regular working class people that could be argued have more to lose, but yeah, like you said, pop stars usually don't do it. Famous people don't do it as much because they have like
They typically have to sell their souls to get there in the first place.
Yeah, and they usually actually have like more technical like economic loss if they do that, and they are used to the lifestyle of being rich and famous.
Now she's going to prison.
She is going to prison, which is fucked.
Black
but
site.
I mean, a lot of Hong Kongers are going to prison, and a lot of them aren't getting as much recognition as she is, and understandably because she's famous. But we can't forget about all the average people that literally probably have given up their lives to keep Hong Kong from falling, basically becoming like a third tier fucking Chinese city where
Well,
if you
now it has basically.
well, yeah, it's on the way. They did. I don't remember if we talked about this, but they had like record low turnout. I talked about it on one of the updates because they just had those elections. It was the lowest since like
Oh yeah. I thought we talked
since
about
like
this on a previous pod.
1990 or something like that.
It's not a surprise. I mean, everyone basically
it-
boycotted it.
Yeah, it's not a surprise, but it's funny in a way because when like Carrie Lam and all these people were coming out and saying like, oh, we're going to show that like we have our own brand of democracy in Hong Kong, and it's like, yeah, like a 15% voter turnout. What a fucking democracy.
I mean, it's a joke. It's like a 15% voter turnout for the Legislative Council, which has no power to introduce bills, which sits under the chief executive, which is basically handpicked by the Chinese Communist Party, a totalitarian organization in charge of a fourth of the world population. Like, it's just layers of stupidity piled on. There's nothing democratic about anything in Hong Kong right now.
Of course not.
There are tiny little pieces that copy democracies in other places, but it's like putting a steering wheel on the taping a steering wheel to your motorcycle and then calling it a car. It doesn't make it a car. It's still a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Just like Hong Kong is neither independent nor is it now two systems or separate. It's completely under the authority of the Chinese Communist Party. And realistically, it has been ever since the handover. The handover the basic law were a fucking joke if you actually like read the text of it. And the fact, I mean, well, China doesn't respect it at all. I mean, one of the parts of the basic law said that Hong Kong was supposed to move towards universal suffrage.
Yeah.
For the legislative council and for the chief executive too, and both of those, they've basically gone in the opposite direction, and it's almost half of the time has elapsed. 25 years since 97. Yeah, 2022 will be next year, and it's gone the opposite direction instead of moving forward. So it's over. I mean, it's over. One country, two systems was a lie. It's always been a lie.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Speaking of the Chinese,
I have a lot of China stories.
did you hear that the people were very angry at Elon Musk in China because it almost he had a Starlink satellite that almost crashed into their space station.
I saw that. Yeah, they were basically, the Chinese government asked the U.S. to control Elon Musk, which is
Deport him to China.
really, seriously,
No, that's what I'm saying they should do.
deport him back to fucking South Africa where he belongs.
Working at gym mine for the rest of your life, you're fucking.
Work in the townships. I think it's interesting. Well, from what you're saying, that Chinese people are pissed off at him. That basically they're trying to rile up nationalism to go against Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Because China's nationalism is very difficult to control, and it's not common that they use like that nationalist sentiment to go against private sector like CEOs.
Well, we don't have a fucking national space program anymore. It's all subsidized and given to Elon Musk. So that's who they have to attack. NASA doesn't exist anymore, Ari.
You should check out that movie.
What, Don't Look Up?
Don't Look Up.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
relevant.
I told you I really like David Sirota. I think he does a lot of good
I
reporting.
don't know who that is.
Half of the team that produced it.
Produced the movie?
He's like a director or producer. I don't remember. I don't know how movies work, man. Very.
I didn't recognize any of the people in it. Like Jennifer Lawrence does not look like herself, and neither does Leonardo DiCaprio. I was like, oh, Jack Black looks young. I was like, what the hell? Seriously, I'm not even joking. I thought it was Jack Black. That's not an exaggeration.
Should have been Jack Black. Then they could have a bunch.
The president is a fucking liar.
That's true.
And I was like, Jack Black looks really good here.
It's just like filled with Tenacious D songs.
Literally after that, they started playing some like song, and I was like, yeah, it's Tenacious. I didn't think that.
He's just like, don't look up. He's like always singing like a fucking psycho.
There is a song like "Just Look Up."
Oh, really?
Yeah, based off Tenacious.
I think maybe America does need to just look up and just call this one. Let's just call this one.
When you say look up, you mean look up while they press the barrel of the gun to their chins?
That's exactly what I mean. That's the point of looking up. Just tap it, yo.
Well, I hope that America does not kill itself. I hope that America looks up at the gun that they're pointing. That's very awkward, but maybe they're pointing it at their forehead. Before we finish all of the many China things I have, last week we were talking about the history of Christmas, and I forgot one element which I learned, which was that basically part of the commercialization of Christmas was because Christmas's origin was basically a holiday that was organized mainly around like the winter solstice. So it involved a lot of drinking and fires. And I remember something like every year, especially like in large cities, urban areas like New York City, every year there would be like dozens of people injured or killed in like the drinking and fires that would take place as a result of Christmas. And that's one of the reasons that they decided to make it about family and commercialize it, was basically as a means of elites to essentially enact some kind of social control. As a matter of social control, to kind of like tamp down the fires and violence that happened every year, which I totally forgot about that element, which I thought was also interesting.
Yeah.
Christmas was originally like a drinking and fire holiday.
Hell yeah,
and then
let's go back to that.
Only later did it become like a family-oriented, like commercialized gift holiday.
Let's return to traditions, folks.
I mean, you won't get any arguments from me.
That's insane. Yeah, I think I listened to a podcast about that once.
Was it this podcast?
I don't think it was, but it very well could have been. We talked about that bill in California to ban guns, right? The one that's modeled off of the...
Yeah, we did.
So did we talk about the one in Oklahoma now to ban books?
No.
So they're saying that basically they want to do similar thing, but they would ban the book in schools, and then if the school didn't remove the banned book that the parents asked to have banned, the parents could get $10,000
What the idea being that
per day.
the
by the way,
banned book is damaging their children's psyche or something?
essentially, yeah. So that's pretty fun. No more 1984 in schools. Which I think, here's what I think is someone should say, I want the Bible out of schools.
Tort reform.
Tort reform.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, there's only one direction for this to go, which is that everyone who feels the slightest bit of damage, I mean, they can already basically sue. Like, any parent could sue the school right now with the claim that, like, whatever, high school mathematics hurt their child's feelings, and therefore they can sue the school district for $10 million. Like, that already exists. I don't know why they need to create laws to do this. And by the way, any of the people who died in that, what's his name? The hero in Wisconsin. Scott Walker.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, that one too. Kyle Rittenhouse. Any one of his victims, I don't see why they couldn't sue the uncle. If you actually think about it, why wouldn't they?
They could try.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't. Why don't they sue the uncle for giving a mentally ill 17-year-old an assault rifle?
It's possible that they have. I don't know. I purposely stayed away from this case because it's a lot of people, like most things nowadays, just getting in their lane and like not, just like saying dumb shit. And when it comes to guns, it's even worse because most people, even on the conservative side, that are like the pundits talking about this, have probably shot a gun once in their life. They went to like a range and shot skeet or something like one time.
No comment about skeet.
Well, the elites usually shoot skeet at little children, so that is what it is.
Is that an adrenochrome joke?
Adrenochrome, folks. They're taking it from the children and putting it in old people like Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch.
But his wife, I believe it's his wife, works with the Clinton Foundation.
No surprise there.
It's so funny how they pretend to like hate each other. These like, the owner of Fox News and then like the Clinton Foundation, they like pretended, oh, we are left and right. It's like, no, you're the two sides of the corporate party. I just heard that today. I thought it was hilarious.
It's kind of fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Let me go back to China really fast.
China.
So two things, the vasectomy ban and the steam ban, very relevant, very connected.
They are.
Explain.
Because if you don't make sure that Chinese men can't get vasectomies, what they'll do is, if they can get vasectomies, they will, because then they'll say, oh, sorry, honey, I can't come to bed anymore. But when you ban that, then what's their contraception? Play League of Legends all day, bud. That's what you do. But now they've banned Steam, too, so they have no excuses for their overbearing wives. That's how they're connected.
Okay. Creative. I think it's interesting, and I think it's still interesting that it's connected to that kind of will to live that you can see with their COVID response, that they will enact any measure of social control that they can in order to preserve what they think are the means for their. I mean, there's obviously, like, their population is in a serious crisis right now, but whereas Taiwan's like, let the house prices rise, and like their birthing rates go to fucking zero, and they're just like, well, we don't understand. Let's add another 1,000 NT subsidy for every child you produce.
Yeah.
So right now, just to make it clear for everyone who doesn't know, the subsidies, like the most generous subsidies in Taiwan, as far as I know, are something like a $250 one-time cash subsidy for having a child, which is about enough to pay for what, like 2 months supply of one of the 11,000 fucking cram schools they'll have to go to actually graduate, to actually get into a university in Taiwan, now that they're consolidating them and forcing them to merge.
Well, that's partially because of the falling birth rate.
They're all connected, but point being, like, it's expensive to raise a child here, and rather than dealing with the largest expense, which is buying a house to take care of your children, they're like, it's not an issue.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
We're like, what housing crisis?
Well, that's because they're elites, dude. they don't understand that it's
Yeah, the ones in power already have
that's
all
what
the
I'm
houses.
saying. It's difficult for them to buy a house, and I mean, it's the classic video. Speaking of Clinton, have you seen the video where she walks into a normal person's house and she's like looking around, very uncomfortable? She's like, "What the fuck?" She's like, "I didn't know fucking people live like this." She's like, "This is one step above a fucking cardboard box and a newspaper blanket on the goddamn street."
Show me that video.
You want to look?
Not right now. You can't censor that out.
Sure can, bud.
I'll just download the MP3 and then cut that clip out and just play it back like 10,000 times. I'll just insert it every 30 seconds. What was really interesting, Chen Shenguo, the leader of Xinjiang right now, the head of Xinjiang, who is largely responsible for the genocide that's taking place, and also formerly responsible for heading Tibet now province, which was formerly an independent country.
Yeah.
Just a reminder to everyone, was removed as the head of Xinjiang. I think for the embarrassing job he's done, because in Tibet, like realistically, everyone knew what was happening in Tibet, and the West was like, "Oh, you're really bad," but like they did it in that level and that pitch and that voice. Like nobody really cared and nobody really did anything. And now with Xinjiang, it's like, I think it's partially because of China's increased presence in the world and the fact that because they're a global superpower and we're so reliant on them, people expect us to do more. But they've been taking a lot more flack for what's happened in Xinjiang than they ever did for Tibet.
Yeah.
And I think they're a little bit blaming him for that. I think they're also removing him to like maybe take a little bit of heat off the idea of being like, "Oh, we replaced the guy in charge with somebody who's going to do the same policies that are directed by us anyways."
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it was him. Like, I mean, he obviously has some
he's fully culpable.
choice, but like it's
it's all directed by
exactly.
the
It's coming from top down, just like everything in Jana.
So I just think it's interesting, and I wonder where he'll be put next if he's not added to the Politburo. One other thing, this is just speculation, but I want to get your thoughts on this, which is that because I'm sure everyone who listens to the pod, and if you haven't, maybe Jordan has mentioned it. I know Jordan knows that there's an outbreak right now in Xi'an right now. And we've talked about it last time, actually.
We talked about it last time, and I talked about it. I showed some of the video, I think, on one of the updates.
A lot of people are saying that it's already a little bit out of control. And I believe that China can get it under control because they have an essentially totalitarian system. So it's not that difficult. At the worst, they'll just do what they did in Wuhan originally, which is just close off the borders completely and weld apartment buildings shut until it disappears.
There's the video of them welding gates and stuff shut, so...
That's not surprising. But what I think it might cause, because they're so terrified of Omicron and because they are so careful right now, I think, to be honest, that there's a remote possibility that they will essentially cancel the Olympics. Because the Olympics are in a couple months. Because of the international pressure right now and because they don't really care about it. The Olympics are a symbol for them. So I don't think that this is likely.
It helps them whitewash some of the bad shit that they do, but yeah, I don't think it's top on their priority
What
list.
I think they will do, though, is I think they will... It's becoming increasingly possible that they will absolutely try to minimize the amount of foreign guests that are allowed to come at all to the Olympics. Basically keep it to athletes only.
Yeah, and they'll probably have to do 14-day quarantine.
Well, they might have like rigorous testing, and they will probably... Where are the Olympics?
They made Meng Wanzhou do 14 or 21-day quarantine when she came back from Canada.
Did they?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're serious about it. That goes to your will to live thing. They don't fuck around with actual.
However, I think that what they will do is they will absolutely minimize the contact between those athletes and normal people in China. That basically you get off the plane and you get transported to a completely segregated, completely quarantined Olympic village.
Oh, for sure.
And then you're in contact with people who are residential on site. And basically, the people coming into China and the people staffing the Olympics will probably never come in contact with any Chinese people during the entire period of the Olympics. And then after, every single person who came in contact with them will then be forced to go into a quarantine.
Yeah.
To ensure that there's absolutely no human contact whatsoever between those two groups of people. That's what I would assume is going to take place. If they do hold the Olympics as this, which I think they will because this is like a national pride thing. But I think that they will definitely have minimal to no guests. And if,
I think I think that's absolutely right.
which is like, what the fuck is the point of the Olympics? Is it just like a TV show? And if that's the case,
Yeah,
then
I mean most people watch it on TV anyway. I don't know. I think we should obviously be boycotting the Olympics anyway.
I totally agree. I think then what the fuck is the point of keeping up the charade that the Olympics are valuable at all? If all it is like a glorified national fucking TV show, then let's just cut the funding for it, because the U.S. spends a shitload of fucking federal money like on sports, which are fucking stupid, and they get enough money. Sorry.
It's pride
If you
in
don't
your
like
country.
If you don't like it, then fucking ask for a sponsorship.
We can run faster than you.
You've taken enough of our fucking welfare money, you welfare queen.
I
athletes.
swim fast.
Realistically, like, if people can't even go watch it, if you're just going to play sports on TV, it's essentially equivalent to the NBA, which means they should lose the fucking government subsidies. Like, this is a joke at this point.
Yeah, I mean I'm not going to disagree with that.
We definitely should cut all our funding from the IOC, since they basically, they've proven that they're just another wing of the Chinese government.
Yeah,
Like we did with the... Wait, did Biden restore money to the WHO?
that I'm not sure about.
I
I
haven't
assume he
looked that up.
did, but I don't know for sure.
I hope he didn't.
Well, don't we all? All right, now that our house looks like a fucking medieval Catholic church, I was going to say, speaking of large international organizations that are supposed to be for the good of all mankind but are actually giant grifts, the UN has been shown to be leaking Uyghur identities to the Chinese government.
That's fucked.
Yep.
For anyone who thinks that the UN is like a monolithic, simple organization, it's not. The UN is like the corrupt bureaucracy of corrupt bureaucracies, with like hundreds of different little organizations and thousands of employees spread across the world who all bilk the global taxpayer out of money so that they can justify their own existence and then do literally nothing, which is all the UN has been responsible for since its creation. Except for the eradication of smallpox. I'll give them that. Other than that, I can't think of anything the UN has done. Can you?
It creates a forum for people to have potential to have some sort of dialogue, and
Oh, you mean Twitter?
and it's also
You mean Facebook?
the white hats do some decent stuff from now and again. So here's an article from Newsweek talking about this. It says the Chinese government's violent oppression of the primary Uyghur. Okay, this is let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so it says the United Nations, the very institution created to reaffirm faith and fundamental human rights, is assisting China in its violent effort to wipe out the Uyghurs by helping the CCP cover its tracks. These were the findings of a recent report by Le Monde about the efforts of UN human rights officer turned whistleblower Emily Riley, or Reilly, Reilly. Riley claims that prior to the UN Human Rights Council session in recent years, China has requested the names of Uyghur and other Chinese dissidents who were scheduled to speak. And despite being explicitly forbidden by the UN's own rules, the UN, according to Riley, has made it practice to share this information with Chinese authorities, who uses it to harass dissidents' families who are still based in China. There was also, I saw other articles talking about potentially some leaked email.
That information? Who in the organization is giving that, and why are they not being punished? That's my question too.
Well, good question, but that's how a lot of these things work, is when they do these sorts of things. It says that she originally discovered this practice in 2013.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, a typical UN worker gets paid like close to $200,000 a year. So these aren't like backroom, low-level people. These are highly paid global elites who are still basically doing the bidding of foreign governments, probably under corrupt pretenses.
So they can make some money off of it. It says the UN, in fact, confirmed Riley's allegation in 2017 when the OHCHR acknowledged that it confirms attendees' names with the Chinese authorities, who regularly ask the UN Human Rights Office whether particular NGO delegates are attending for the forthcoming sessions. So too did a 2019 UN tribunal confirm the practice of providing names of human rights defenders to the Chinese delegation. It says that they're also simultaneously providing contradictory statements denying it.
I mean,
So I think that's probably how they're doing it. And the fact that no one is willing to hold them accountable and call them out for it, besides these whistleblowers who they obviously bury afterwards. Like, no one cares. No one gives a shit, man. That's the problem with a lot of these things, is that people have been too busy being distracted about, who
Get another Pfizer.
yeah, these things that should not be dividing us, but in fact are, like like how many boosters we should take so we can go back and work ourselves to death and give our grandmothers COVID because Anthony Fauci thinks that you're a fucking
Take
little
more
worker.
fucking Pfizers and get back to work, lowlife.
Get a job, sir.
that's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. It is, but that's what's happening. Good thing we pay some money to them.
Good thing I don't. Well, I pay taxes to Taiwan, and Taiwan is not a member of the UN.
That's true.
So actually, my tax dollars technically don't go to the UN. So fuck you, Anthony Fauci. Fuck you. That's a joke. Anthony Fauci's not a member of the UN, but I'm sure he's taking some money from them somewhere along the way. Next door, did you hear about the flare up in Myanmar, that massacre that took place?
Yeah, it wasn't on Christmas.
Was it? Nah, I don't think so.
Was it not?
Maybe it was. I can't remember.
People are calling it the Christmas massacre. So,
Okay,
but
well,
I don't know if
then
it
probably
actually. I don't know if it actually happened on Christmas. That's just what people were saying. Yeah, I heard a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's like, I think upwards of 30 people. They basically just rounded up I think they're just angry, like poorly trained soldiers in the midst of a civil war. So they just rounded up a village, shot them all to death, and then lit the bodies on fire to like kind of cover it up. That's basically what looks like what took place. And China's, of course, has nothing to say about all the weapons that they're selling to them.
Except for ka-ching. That's all they care about, man. That's all it ends up being. The unfortunate thing is, and I say this a lot, and people might get frustrated with it, but I think that it is very true, is that the U.S. needs to clean up its own shit too, so they can call these things out. Because if the U.S. called that out right now and said, like, look, you're selling weapons to people doing a genocide, it's like, yeah, you're doing that with Saudi right now.
Saudi is not committing a genocide. I don't agree with that equivalence at all.
You don't think Saudi is doing a genocide in Yemen right now?
No, I don't. I think that the Saudi government is selling weapons to like one of the sides in Yemen. If maybe you could say the U.S. by selling weapons to the Saudis, who are then arming one of the sides in the Yemeni conflict. But I even think that it's like a complex, I think, famine situation. I wouldn't say that it's a genocide.
But I would say it's greatly led by the Saudis. And but I'm not saying that they're exactly the same. What I'm saying is that it's still morally repugnant, and you're still doing morally repugnant weapon sales, and that hurts your argument.
I still disagree. I still think that that's like what
You think that it's just chill?
No, of course
But what I'm saying is it's easier for us to call out people's bad actions if we have our hands
I shouldn't
clean.
say that who cares if the United States calls them out? It doesn't make a fucking, like, calling out doesn't do anything anymore. There's no such thing as shame right now. Everyone knows that there's a genocide right now in China, and is anybody doing anything? Everyone
course
knows
not.
that there's
Of course
civil
not.
war in Myanmar. Is anyone doing anything? There's no such thing as shame. So when you say calling out, it doesn't matter. Like, calling out someone doesn't matter. The only thing that matters right now are fucking weapon sales, sanctions, and honestly, military intervention. Those are the only things that will make a fucking difference right now.
I think the only option there is then probably sanctions and maybe weapon sales to Taiwan. But like, I just don't.
I don't think there's shame, so I don't think it matters whether the United States has like.
I think it's also just the right thing to do. We shouldn't be selling weapons to the Saudis. is
I
what I'm
agree with
saying.
that. I agree with that. But I'm saying the U.S. is not, like, barely a player in this. The U.K. is a much bigger. The U.K. was their fucking former colonist.
Well, yeah, I mean, fuck the UK too. No, for
But
sure.
what I'm saying is, like, the U.S.'s position on this issue makes literally fucking no difference. We sanctioned them for what, 60 years before anything happened. Like, realistically, sanctions probably won't do anything anyways. They enjoy being a pariah state, and the military made that fucking clear that they're willing to throw everything down the drain and go back to the way things were 10 years ago because it's better than actually having other people in the world threaten their monopoly on power that they let go of for a grand total of 7 fucking years. So, yeah, I think it's probably fucked either way. I think if there were an embargo on weapon sales to them, it's possible that the civil war could actually go against them, and the military could possibly be overthrown.
That I agree with, but the
Calling people out is not going to make a difference.
Well, yeah. When I said calling out, I mean like obviously calling out followed by action, because calling people out never does.
Oh
anything.
hell yeah!
But
I love action.
But I mean, what kind of
Like I said at the beginning of the pod,
what I mean, yeah. What is the U.S. going to do? Sanction China? Maybe.
have a weapons embargo and basically say any country that sells weapons to them basically gets taken out of SWIFT.
You think America's got big enough balls to do that?
No, I don't.
Because
And
I think they have pretty small balls right now.
I listened to The Economist recently, and I heard that exact fucking statement where it's like the United States. Someone was saying, "Well, the United States does so much to sanction Russia. Why can't it do the same with China?" And the argument basically went. It sounded like it was going like, "Well, China's a lot bigger, and they could get around the U.S. sanctions." That's not what the point was. The point was that the United States would actually stand to lose too much money, and therefore the United States wouldn't be willing to actually sanction China.
Our economy.
Yeah, so we could, but yeah, the main point is, are we willing to? And the
No.
answer, I agree with you, is probably not.
Cash rules everything around me, man. It's
Listen, we're losing 10% of our fucking population like over the course of the next 10 years because COVID is not going away. So we've sacrificed. If we're willing to sacrifice 10% of our tax base and probably like more than that in economic growth every year for the next decade, then of course we're not going to sacrifice a tiny bit.
Well, it's. I mean, the thing though is that the corporations are still making money now. They don't pay taxes, so the government's not really getting rich.
Well, if
But
enough
it's-
of the CEOs fucking die off, then maybe it
They
won't
can
matter.
they can replace them. It really doesn't matter.
You
That's-
say they, I mean, like, then what the fuck do they care? Like,
as long as the elites keep getting a lot of money and they keep paying bribes to the politicians, and then the politicians in turn can go work for those companies later.
this is why I think it's a matter of time before I honestly think there will be like mass civil unrest, that people are just going to start killing representatives. I'm not advocating this. Let me make that 100% clear. But there comes a point when the society has broken down so much and absolutely nothing is being done, and people are so hopeless about the future that if you allow society to degrade to that point, then there is a high possibility that there will just be mass anarchy and essentially civil war.
Well, I talked about it yesterday. There's they're basically cutting the child tax credit, so that's going to be, if you can get it, even it's going to be greatly reduced, and so people are going to be people aren't even going to be able to take care of their kids, and I mean that's something that like you can't handle. Like I mean you threaten.
You can't handle the truth.
Well, you can't threaten someone's fucking kids. If kids start starving, people are going to start doing wild shit. Like you ask,
I still disagree with you on that specific one, because I think that most people get that refund once a year. Like
No, you don't. No. This is how it works: is you get half of it in monthly payments, and half of it is
A
a
tax
rebate.
credit?
Yes.
but it's paid by who? So the treasury gives you a cash payout once a month?
Yep. They give you they cut you a $300. It depends on how old the child is, but suffice to say, $350 or $250 check every month, and then you get the rest of it at when you file taxes.
Interesting. I did not know that, but I don't have children, so.
Well, it literally cut child poverty by 40%, and now they're just like, fuck it, we don't care, it's great, whatever. Let's just shove a bunch of kids back into poverty. But I don't know, it's monstrous shit. But yeah, I do.
The society's breaking down, so like this is like small potatoes.
Well, I think that's part of it, though. And
It's just like we can get away with anything. People are like dying in the streets right now.
it won't happen forever. And speaking to that that sort of anarchy, the place you don't want to have this anarchy is in the United States, where there are more guns than people. And now you can literally print.
Thanks, Joe Rogan.
You can literally print a fucking 3D gun at your house.
Libertarianism.
That's why I voted for Gary Johnson 30 times in a row. So that people can print their own AR-15s and then kill each other when somebody says mean things to them.
And also, he promised to lower the age of consent. Oh.
Because that's like libertarians' number one thing.
Seriously?
Dude, I don't know if
that claim.
you need to go online.
I think I don't need to go.
You need to go on Reddit, bud. You can figure out a lot about libertarians. They
I don't think I will.
love talking about lowering the age of consent.
It's a contract between a man and a woman.
It's a contract between a man and a small boy.
Well, people do love talking about like going back to like this Greek style of democracy. And you know how the Greeks did love their boys.
Their man boy love.
No idea what we were talking about 6 hours ago.
I think Myanmar. I can't remember.
Definitely at some point, but I don't think that was the last thing we were talking about. I remember talking about libertarians and their...
Oh yeah, you were saying I should go online.
Yeah, and of course you shouldn't. That's a joke.
Don't worry, I won't.
I don't know. You do love those YouTube comments.
I occasionally check them.
Big mistake. Big mistake, bud.
Yeah, a couple of things, and then I'll go sit outside with you for a minute. One was that Trump seems to have come out in favor of the vaccine that he used our tax money to help develop, amazingly. And everyone's like freaking out. Like leftists are being like, "It's too late," and Republicans are being like, "Traitor," according to CNN.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a big spectrum, but yeah. So I think I talked about that the other day. He's talking to. Oh no, that was a different thing with Huckabee. But yeah, I watched him go out with, I think it was Hannity, and they both talked about getting boosted.
Really?
Yeah, and Trump's new line is, "Don't let them take it away from you, folks. We did this. We the strong MAGA crowd. We made these vaccines happen. Don't you let them take it away from you."
I mean, it is true.
It is true. Yeah, it totally is. I mean, kind of. I mean, I don't know that anyone would have done anything different, but yeah.
I feel like the Republicans would have fought it if Joe Biden was like, "We have to have a national vaccine program in place that the United States is going to prepay for." They would have been like, "Fuck that shit." Like, let the private companies do it by them. Well, maybe they would have been all in favor of giving private companies a shitload of money.
I think they would have, but I don't know.
It's hard to say.
I tend to think they would have, but yeah. We will never know. It's counterfactual.
The last thing is personal, which is that the other day I saw another accident near the same place. That road, Gushan Second Road, is one of the most dangerous roads in Kaohsiung, considering how many accidents I've seen there recently.
No.
And this time, my goodness, the one I saw a few weeks ago, nobody stopped. Like, I saw buses weaving away, like basically trying to avoid running over the body laying in the road just to get past him so they didn't have. This time, I saw people going out of their way to avoid traffic so that they could stop and pull over on the side to help this guy.
Oh, really?
Probably, like, there were like 6 or 7 people. I think he hit his brakes too hard before the intersection and just like went down. Almost everyone got off their bike to help this person. I think it was a guy, but it was crazy. It was crazy. Instead of going out of their way to avoid the accident, they went out of their way to move their bikes so that they could help, which is the complete opposite. So it's commendable.
Good to see you.
It's really good to see.
I thankfully haven't seen an accident in a while, but that night that we went out,
I saw him. Oh, I did see him try to get up, and he couldn't get up.
oh, that's not great. But at least he was moving, I guess.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the day,
We went out. Christmas.
yes, on Christmas Day. I went out at the same time as you guys, but to a different place with a different friend at first before we met up, and I didn't realize this, but I was talking to you on the phone when I was over there. It was mobbed with people, just like out, like walking along the river and stuff, like enjoying the light show for Christmas. And I was like really upset because there were so many people, and I don't do well in crowds. But anyway, so we ate, and I left, and I found out that like very shortly after I left, a drunk driver drove through and killed people walking through a crosswalk.
Really?
I don't know how he like hit a family. I think only one person died, but yeah, like just blazed through a crosswalk and smoked some people. It's fucked, man.
That's pretty fucked.
It's also, yeah, I was so close to it too. It was like literally right in front of the restaurant we were eating at. So, yeah, drunk driving is definitely a problem in Taiwan. I don't know if it's worse than like in the U.S. because it's a big problem in the U.S. as well, but people like to drink and drive, which is weird because it's not like, one, there's public transportation, and two, like it's not like taxis are that expensive. But people are selfish, so I don't know. Don't drink and drive, folks. It's never fucking worth it.
Agreed.
Whether you kill someone else, which is obviously like the worst, or kill yourself, or just you get pulled over and then you have to deal with the litany of shit that involves.
Shame.
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 Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame.
Shame. That's all I got. Happy New Year, and look out for those NFTs, folks.
Yeah. I think I might do one more episode by myself before the New Year's up, but this is the last
You
one.
mean tomorrow?
Yeah, maybe. I might try to do one.
We gotta be at the New Year's party at 6 p.m.
Jeez, why are they starting so early?
I told you yesterday.
I just remember you telling me when we're gonna leave by.
I didn't tell you. I just told you we gotta be there by 6.
No, you told me you were probably gonna leave by a certain time. I won't.
I
say.
did not say that.
Yes, you did. You said Livia and I are probably gonna try to leave by 1.
I didn't say
That
that. That doesn't even make sense. Why would I leave by 1 to get there at 6? I think you just.
No. Leave the party.
Oh, at night. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I
what I'm
thought you
saying.
meant leave to go there. I was
No.
like, how does that make sense?
No, it doesn't. That's why. That's not what I was saying.
Oh yeah. No. But it does start at 6. I think I did say it. You must not have heard it.
No. You probably almost certainly did say. I'm not saying you didn't say it. I just
Oh.
don't remember it.
Okay.
All right, folks. Now that you know our plans for New Year's, make sure to go check out the website. There's that new writer is going to be up pretty soon, so you'll be able to read all of their content.
Yeah, lots of Taiwan, China, Hong Kong military. Like, what do you call it? Society.
Yeah, their style is like pretty short and like to the point.
Well, they're just supposed to like cover as much of Taiwan news as possible, and we say one, but there's like potentially 2 or 3 interns. Let's just call them interns who will be, filming in all kinds of local content. So there will be a lot of Taiwan, China, and Hong Kong news updates from local society things, military content, cross-strait relations, all that kind of stuff.
All the good stuff. So you can get a lot of information there. While you're over there, like I said earlier, if you see any ads that you find interesting, you can go ahead and click on those. And then if there's stuff to buy, if you buy it, then all of that helps us quite a bit. And then, of course, also the Patreon, patreon.com. That's patreon.com/FreeChinaPost. You can help us out there, and we can get you some cool goodies. You know, $3, as little as $3 a month helps us out a lot. So we love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Let's see.